Station.
What's up, man? Station,
How's
brother.
it going? That music fucking creeps me out all the fucking time.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, man. Fucking dumbass Wi-Fi, dude. It's like the Wi-Fi and my slow ass laptop. I feel like that made then the internet just like the internet don't work, then the server, like the website browser crashed. So it's like a double fucking whammy. It's just so fucking annoying. I have to figure something out. I'm about to go get a MacBook, bro.
Yeah, I'd have them come. For all the money you pay, I definitely would have them come in and put a new modem in and stuff. So
Oh, that's first. That's first before I do anything.
that would work. But hey, we're here and you look good now. So
yeah. Here to review the Twilight Zone episodes 21, 22, 23, and 24, which is let's see.
We're coming down the home stretch.
Season 1.
Yep. And
right?
It looks like it is season 1. And it looks like season 1's got 36 episodes. So we're getting there. Maybe a couple more weeks, about 3 more weeks, we'll be out of the first season.
Yeah.
Then I'm thinking maybe we should do a review show and review the entire season, say which one was our favorite the season. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's kind of hard to remember them at this point.
You must stay sharp, young one.
But we got episode 21, which is Mirror Image. Episode 22, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Episode 23, A World of Difference. And episode 24, Long Live Walter Jameson.
Yeah, so that's the correct
order. I think the episodes were a lot stronger than they have been the last couple weeks, honestly.
Yeah, Mirror Image was the first one. That's written by Rod Serling, directed by John Brom, and it stars Vera Miles, who I think was in Psycho, and Martin Milner, who was in Adam 12. And it's a story about basically doubles, doppelgangers, doubles, multiple dimensions. You know, this woman is at a train station waiting, and she keeps on seeing her suitcase vanish, come back, vanish, come back. The guy tells her she was just talking to him. She was in the bathroom. She wasn't. It's because there's another one of her running around, and really plays up the paranoia and all the other, what's going on. Doesn't per se have a twist ending. Basically,
the twist is that it's like an alternate version, I guess, of her, if anything.
Yeah, it's like everybody has a double, and that there's another universe that these people are jumping in and out of. Nowadays with the fucking multiverse everywhere and everything, it's old hat. Yeah. But back then,
that was big thing.
It was a big concept back then, I guess. And you go ahead. You want to start off?
I mean, I thought the woman was pretty good. I get the ticket seller, or the ticket guy.
The old dude.
I thought the old dude was pretty good. He was played a good asshole, and I thought the paranoia, the chick, she was pretty good, man. She was, she was on the money. Beautiful blonde chick that is just freaked out and just in kind of not knowing what's going on, totally confused. I think she played the role to a T, no doubt.
Yeah, she's a good actress. As I said, I'm pretty sure she played the sister in Psycho, the original Psycho.
Oh, really?
And I mean, you didn't really know what was going on. We get the guy Martin Milner. He comes in and helps her. He's not really sure what's going on. Yep. But at the end of the episode,
in Psycho.
Right, and I guess the at the end he experiences his own double as he goes chasing after himself, but you don't get any answers. Is this just happening in this part of the train station?
Yeah.
What's causing this?
There's doubles in it. I guess it's just a doppelganger thing. I thought it might have been some alternate. I guess in this dimension they have doppelgangers.
Right. Well, I guess that the idea behind this is kind of a look at mental illness, where you would just think the woman was nuts, but in essence she's experiencing this dimensional shift where her doubles are coming in and out.
Yeah. I guess
Doesn't
that
really
happens to people in real life, and they just get, they just get totally labeled as
right.
a psycho.
Exactly. As psychos, yeah. And
Yeah,
then and then she's even on the bus at the end of the story there. She's driving away. But yeah, I think for most of the episode you really didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it
yeah,
held your interest for sure. And the acting was really good. As you said at the top of this whole thing, I think this has been the strongest of the sets of episodes we've had in a while.
yeah,
I really liked the girl. She's you could tell she's a film actress because
definitely.
she sold that role. She played it very well. Um, he really only had that one set, the bus station, but it was filmed interestingly enough when they go into the bathroom and she's seeing herself reflected in mirrors and different ways of seeing herself. So that was kind of interesting. It was shot well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
definitely.
I enjoyed it. Probably one of the better ones we've seen in the last few weeks.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, I think that actress did a hell of a job. She got it all across that she was trying to. Before we get to what episode 22 though, or if you want to review, do you want to rate it before we go?
No, we'll rate him at
Let's
the
give
end.
it
But yeah,
to-
if you want to say out to the chat, there are quite a few people in the
Yeah.
chat tonight.
So we got got GT Comics first up in here. Sammy, what's up, brother? Station Gary North, Station brother. We got Zach in here. What's up, man?
Hey, Zach.
Station.
Two Gun, of course.
Of course, man. Two Gun, always.
I think I see Verno down there too. Hey, Verno, how's it going?
Station. No. Yeah, go check him out on IG. Just put up an X review with him and Fable. So
The
go
last
check
one
it
was
out.
good review.
Put it up last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, episode 22. What was that one called?
Well, let me before we get out of that one, let me just say one more thing. And I think we're seeing here that
Go
the Twilight Zone stuff is falling into a couple different camps. It's either like a twist ending, or we get these episodes kind of like mirror image. This is a lot like the episode a few weeks back where the astronauts went up, and when they came down, they started disappearing. Well, there really was no answer, really no definite reason. And this was once again,
you don't always get an answer.
You don't always get an answer. Like this was an episode where it looked at like something metaphysical, but you kind of don't get an answer exactly why this is happening. So
yeah.
But I enjoyed it. Yeah, the next episode is really the monsters are due on Maple Street, and once again, I always say it. If there's a top 10, this is in it. This is a pre-ultimate. This is a top 10. This is probably top 5. This is a pre-ultimate,
really
well-known episode of the Twilight Zone. It's definitely top 10. Monsters are due on Maple Street. In fact, the 80s series did a redo on this, a remake of it.
Okay.
Updated a little bit. Written by Rod Serling, directed by Ron Winston, starred Claude Akins, who was in a lot of these, and Jack Warden. And basically, it's a story of paranoia, suspicion, because we're in a neighborhood where something strange has happened, a ship or something. These people don't know why. They've lost power. Cars won't start. So they start suspecting each other because the kid told them a story about aliens and science fiction. They all get paranoid. They all start seeing aliens everywhere. And
or suspecting aliens.
Or suspecting it. They jump from one to the other. It's you, it's you, it's you. Shit starts going south. Even a guy gets shot. Yeah. People are getting beat up. All the sorts of shit's happening. And then finally, at the end, we do a pullback and we get aliens in a flying saucer basically are responsible
for studying them. It's like
studying
them.
Like
a trial and error test.
Right. Well, coming back before they invade, they don't come down, they don't invade, they don't shoot, they don't kill. They pull the power in the neighborhood. They buzz by. And after that, people basically turn on themselves and become animals, start killing each other. As the alien said, this happens almost every time. We don't have to kill them, take away their comforts, take away their and give them a sense of like paranoia and they'll kill themselves, and we see everybody running back and forth. This
is true then, and it's true today.
It's true today.
Worse today.
That's why this episode really hits, and it still hits because
I was thinking, I was like, this one hits.
It's always an episode where we look at the human condition in the Twilight Zone. You take people, big thing, same thing with the pandemic, same thing with the, floods going on. You take away creature comforts, you start getting this. People start, going after each other, looting, killing. And man, this thing really hit the performances in this by everybody's great. And this was Rod Serling. You got to remember when this was written in the 50s, and this was written right in the middle of McCarthyism and communism, where everybody was being blacklisted, said they were communist, whether they were or not. And all these trials were going on. And even Rod Serling knew writers, friends of his got blacklisted, called communisms and all that when they weren't. And some of that's in here too. Everybody pointing figures with no evidence, nothing, So that was why this was also a big story. Rod Serling wrote the story. So, this is a fantastic episode. There's so many good scenes in it. But go ahead with your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a great one, man. I think at first I was like, what's going on here? At first I wouldn't put it up there, but then once you see that twist ending and you find out that, it's not like there's not even an alien down in the town.
Not in the town, no, they're just sitting back watching.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? They're just literally just like studying and
they're hanging out.
It's literally, they're like, we've done this plenty of times. It's always the same. Things change here and there, but for the most part, they always turn each other. They always get paranoid. You take away a little light, you do this, you do that, and they freak out and they start turning on each other. Yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah, you get to see these aliens basically punking them, turning on the lawnmower for a second, turning it off, turning one car on, turning it off, sitting back. The aliens' costumes, of course, are typical ridiculous bubbles with the antennas and stuff like that. But it's still a fun, interesting, good episode.
I mean, you get that one big guy, and he's like, "I know."
Jack Wood.
The guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Head beaten and kills the guy. He's like,
and then he ends up, they turn on him in the end.
I was like, maybe it was the kid. I thought it might be the kid because it's like he is the most like unlikely of anything. Yeah. And then you get the real twist.
I know. They just saw everywhere, and they started killing each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is like a great episode. It's everything the Twilight Zone is that episode.
I would agree.
And it's definitely in my top 5. I mean, obviously I'm probably the back lot of fucking Leave It to Beaver, which is what I think they were, because they shot Leave It to Beaver was shot like on that fucking set. In fact, I think I read somewhere that one of the houses was the Leave It to Beaver house they were shooting in front of. And even though it's only shot on a set, it's still done so well.
I never saw the Forrest Whitaker one.
Okay, that's the one they did in the '80s show. I know they remade. I think they remade.
One that I got. What's that one that I got?
That's the one you got, the '80s one. Yeah.
Forrest knows that.
Yeah.
But Forrest knows that.
What's that?
That's like season Forrest Whitaker hosted.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying the one with Forrest Whitaker. He like hosted the series at one point.
Okay, that's not that one. That's a 2000 series. There's another version
like
of
one
that.
Season.
It only went like one season.
It must be like the late 80s or something.
Okay. But I'm pretty sure I know the 80s one redid like the big ones, the big episodes. They did redos. I'm pretty sure they did redo this. I have to look. But
they probably did. They probably did it a couple of times, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, any of the big ones. Well, look at the movie, Twilight Zone, the movie. They redid Nightmare at 50,000 feet.
It was 2002 the Forrest Whitaker one came out. 2002 to 2003. They did 43 episodes in one season. So they did 2 seasons. One season, 43 episodes.
Wow. Oh, yeah, because it's smaller. Crazy? Well, that's because some of them are probably like 15 minutes like the other one.
I don't know.
You know how the other one had like 2 shows sometimes.
21. Like the first episode, probably because it shows one episode 21 minutes, and the rest don't even show how long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that one was okay. I think the '80s one is a little bit better. But I'll have to check that out.
Could have sworn the 20 episodes.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have anything else to say with the monsters?
Wes Craven. Yeah, he did like the pilot episode with Bruce Willis in the 80s.
Right. Yeah. So, anything else to say about monsters that do on Maple Street?
That would probably be. I mean, like I said, the actors were just fantastic. I did like, it kind of gave me at first. It gave me vibes of the Burbs. Like I could see the Burbs kind of being like a wacky twist of this.
The Burbs had a lot of
the Burbs.
Yeah, a lot of the elements.
But obviously it goes a different way. Yeah.
Another one that was kind of like that too. Neighbors with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Neighbors has that same vibe.
22 episodes in season 1 of the Forest Whitaker. They're on Tubi. Okay. But yeah, man, I thought it was a great episode. It's too close to say my top 5, top 10 yet because I don't remember a lot. Like the big one, always one that I remember is Nightmare 2000, 20,000 feet. Like that's the top 5 probably.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't remember a lot of the names of some. So it's too I'd say like. At one point, man, we'll definitely have to do like a top 10 list or, a top 20 list or something once we've like finished the series.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a great episode. I love that ending, man. It was just fantastic. And it hits home today, man, like still to this day. Like they might be a little different, like it's just crazy how like that story is like almost everlasting.
Right. Well, and the ending doesn't matter. Plug in anything as a cause,
Yeah, literally. It's crazy, man. Yeah. I thought that one just really hit hard, man. I did really enjoy it.
All right. Well, the next one is A World of Difference, written by Richard Matheson, who normally does space ones, not space ones.
Hey, what up, government cheese?
Directed by Ted Post.
Brother Joe, what's up, y'all? And Slasher Fred and Jack Slaw, what's up, guys?
And it's starring Howard Duff. Basically, this is another story that you see a lot now, but probably was the first time something like this happened, where an actor is in a movie, but then all of a sudden he thinks he's the actual star of the show. He is the character now. We've seen that in a lot of episodes of TV stuff. It's I'm sure they watched this. They've done it a million times. And this was an interesting episode. Definitely up to the first 2, but basically you get this guy who thinks he's the actor. I don't know whether he's having a break or he, for a moment he just took leave of his senses, but then of course he wakes up and he's in front of the camera. We had to deal with his
he's like literally in midlife, and then
we had to deal with his ex-wife.
The cameras,
right?
Or they yell cut.
Yeah, they cut, and then they go to, he goes out to try to find his real family. Of course, he can't find out where they live. He can't find them because he's not real. And basically, at the end, he goes back to the office. They're dismantling the movie set. The movie's been canceled. He's out of a job because he went nuts. And basically, he's back in the show. Back in the movie is being filmed. When the guy comes looking for him, he's gone. He's off on vacation. He got out of Dodge before, shit went south again. So in other these episodes, you're not really sure. It's a nightmare vision. It could be a dream. It could be he's flipping out. Whatever the reason, basically, we go through this whole thing, and then in the end, he's back to where he started, basically. An okay episode. Not my favorite of the 5, but it was interesting. And it was played well. Was
your favorite of the 4?
Not my favorite of the 4. We spent a lot of time with his wife yelling at him and stuff, and that was kind of a drag. But it was an okay episode. What did you think?
I'd start off, man. It was the weakest of the week for sure. This one kind of it wasn't tough to get through, but it wasn't holding my attention like the first two or the fourth
The
one.
last
I
one.
would say
Yeah.
very easily the weakest of the link.
Right.
I thought the guy who playing the actor, the main guy, I thought he did good. I thought like his like so-called girlfriend in the acting life, like like the fake life to him.
Right.
Um,
Well, it was his ex-wife wanted him money. Wanted
yeah,
him.
she did good. She was a huge bitch. Um, but yeah, it, I just wasn't that crazy about it. What was I gonna? There was something I was gonna say. Um, but yeah, definitely the weakest. Damn, what was I gonna say about it? It was a little like I guess a little confusing at the end, just because it's another one kind of like you mentioned with episode 21. You kind of don't know what happens at the end. He just kind of he goes
The reverse of
I'll
whatever
go
happened. Yeah, the
back
reverse
into
of
the
what
world.
happened in the beginning. Yeah, and he goes back and he
Um,
flies out with his movie wife. Meanwhile, the people in his real life are still looking for him. He's gone.
yeah.
Did he disappear? Did he just kill himself? Kind of.
But before I forget, before it gets too far down, Garcia is right, man. Go check Drum Dum's Scream documentary on YouTube. I was watching some of it before the stream. It's like an hour and a half. And he like deep dives on all. He says 6, but I don't know if he's seen 6, so I think it's like 1 to 5. He from what I've seen, it's great, man, and highly recommend it. He's just like he's a YouTuber and he made like his own documentary. It's fucking, from what I've seen, I really like it. I can't wait to watch the rest. But yeah, man, this episode,
Slasher Fred thinks it maybe was the inspiration for the Truman story. Probably. It's inspired a lot of TV and movie shows.
Oh,
That
that I could
stereotypes
see
of it.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen Freddy's Nightmares.
It's by now it's a well-worn trope by now, so everybody's used it.
Yeah.
So
that's for sure. But I think the main guy, he did great. Great acting in it. Station Perry. But it's just tough to compete against even monsters on Maple Lane. And
it's tough to come back off of that one.
Come after that one, yeah. It just didn't
Right,
hit that well. I wish it had a little better like ending. At least kind of explain the stuff a little more.
Yeah, this one I always kind of remember. It's not a huge episode to me, but it's always been kind of interesting. Long Live Walter Jameson, written by Charles Beaumont, directed by Tony Leader, starring Kevin McCarthy, who's in Invasion of the Body Snatchers and a ton of 80s stuff. Kevin McCarthy was always big on coming back and guest starring in 80s horror movies. So he's a well-known actor in 50s sci-fi and so forth. And basically, he's a college professor that has lived for a very long time. His friend and boss there, I guess, is onto his secret that he's a man who's basically immortal, that can't die. And we see the first half of that with the old guy trying to ferret him out and trick him into revealing it, which he does. He wants to marry the old guy's daughter. And there's some trepidation now because the old guy, he wanted to be immortal, but he can't be. And then, and then he goes home. I'm not really sure why he went across the street to get, I guess because they were leaving, he asked the girl to marry him and they were going on their honeymoon. So he was going across the street to get clothes and whatnot. And,
yeah, I guess so.
And an ex-wife.
I figured, why is he going to come back in 15 minutes to pick her up? He's already there.
Yeah, I know. So basically, it's so they could go next door and find his old wife from 50 years ago there, who's tracked him down. And
you almost forget about that old broad that's been like watching him, like
right
when he like leaves. Honestly, I forgot totally about her, and I was like, oh, that's
she's in it, and then you find out in the end that that's who it is. It's one of his past wife, who's now old. Well, he's still the same age, and this was always interesting because I always loved these stories where you had these guys who lived a long life and was always in. Throughout history is this guy. Star Trek did a story like that. Of course, Doctor Who is the biggest one with that, where these guys have been going through time. and they're different characters and they live a long time. This one got stretched suspension because the guy even said it's like in this 2,000 years you would never see. He goes, "Oh, I was close to death, but I can't believe going through war and seeing everything this guy would have seen. He never would have been shot, impaled, stabbed, or something." That
or
just
at least better, or not like quick enough to not get shot by this old gal. She was pretty dang old, man.
Usually where these stories go, what's the one I'm thinking about? What's the story where the guy gets stabbed? He lives through all this time. It's a movie that just happened not too long ago.
What happened?
Well, basically what usually happens in these stories is the guy gets shot, but he heals himself. He can't die. So bullets and stuff can't kill him. Wasn't there a movie like that where basically the guy went through time? You see him like fighting in the old days, the Scots, and not just Highlander, but there was another one too that I thought was kind of like that. But I don't know. But
maybe in the chat.
But that's the interesting twist on this one. That if he gets shot, he's basically dead, and that's what happens. He gets shot and he ages fast. I like the effect though. The makeup was good, and then when you see him on the ground, he's just dust.
Yeah,
I remember.
I was waiting because I didn't remember this at all. So
that scene where he's dust is burned in my fucking 8-year-old brain because it scared the shit out of me. Yeah, when I was a kid.
Like, if he don't turn to dust, man, it ain't official. But man, I freaking love this episode. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I love stuff like this.
Yeah,
it's tough, man. I'm gonna say it. It's tough between this one and the Maple Street one.
Oh, for me, hands down.
I really enjoyed this one, man. I really enjoyed this one. Like this one, I kind of was like in it the whole way. Like I don't know why. Like it really like it kind of gets going in, but it's like the guy, who plays, Walter Hill or whatever his name is.
Jameson, yeah. Kevin McCarthy's a great actor.
It's he's so suave and everything, man. It's just like he's perfect, bro. I think he did great, man. And I don't know why I was locked in on this one though. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a great way to end the week.
This one and Maple Street were the two best.
Father is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They're like kind of friendship, and how he kind of just like out of nowhere, he's like, "How old are you?" And it's like you kind of see where it's gonna start going, and you're like, "Man," he's like, "No one will believe you," because like if he does say anything, he's a crazy old man. They'll think.
Yeah. I like the backstory too. He's talking about the alchemist, put him in a coma.
Right.
Didn't wake up, and then he did. And when he did, he didn't know. He thought nothing happened, but then everybody started getting older, and he started realizing it.
Yep.
And then the.
I like that they didn't like go something wacky. You know what I mean? Like, I thought it was like pretty.
Yeah, I'm glad the father didn't try. His friend didn't try to kill him or do something behind his back. He accepted what he told him.
Well, I'm glad too that they're not like he's like, "Oh, I remembered it all, and now I'm gonna make you immortal with me" or something like that. Like I would have been like,
guy goes, "I don't know."
I really enjoyed the way it went. I think it was perfect.
Yeah, the only thing, as I said, the suspension of disbelief where he wouldn't have been shot or something in the past, but
because even the dad's like, "You telling me in all those years?" Like even
it's true though. But his answer made sense. Some people never go to the hospital. Some people never have a broken bone. It's true. I mean, he was just lucky he didn't get killed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love shit like that where where it's kind of like supernatural type stuff, and it was just done well.
Kind of similar like that Sandman story, or the one where Sandman gives that guy like eternal life. It's almost like a story. I feel like that's almost where that might stem from, almost even like because they kind of like he doesn't remember or anything, so he has no idea who really gave it to gave him that the gift or whatever.
Well, it makes sense too because. I mean, you can say, well, gee, the guy was a dick to leave his wife, but what would he do? His wife's old. He still looks the same. If he,
it was weird how like when she touched him, he was like terrified.
Yeah, he could have probably tried to hit it by making himself look old, but he got out of there. That's why he left all
Well,
these women.
well,
He
no,
didn't
no, no.
age
Like, man, the woman that comes to
Right.
kill him with the
Right.
gun or
His
picks up the
ex-wife.
gun, like when she touches his hand and he goes like, ah, ah, like he's scared of her, or like I don't know, or like because he's terrified because she's old or something. I wonder if that's another thing where he was like, he got out of it also because he was like, I don't want to see them like age, like
Right. Yeah.
he's not aging. He's still the good looking guy that he is. And he's like, this beautiful woman, she's unrecognizable to me, if anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think there's a part of that too, because he's just so obsessed with not wanting to die, So it's almost like seeing death in front of him, because obviously she was pretty old too. Like she was on her way out. So
well, I'm sure he never told his wives they couldn't age. He probably never told them.
No, I'm
so
sure.
When he
That he just kind of gives it up to.
Yeah, when he leaves, he's just gone. And then when they come back and they see him, she's the first one to come back and see that he was the same age. She didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like the episode. Done really well. 2 good ones this week. Well, 3 good ones. They're all good, but
yeah.
I'd say two that are very close together.
2 very close, and the first one I think is really carried on the blonde girl's shoulders. That Marion Crane's sister. I think that if without her, it's very subpar.
Yeah,
episode. But I think she brings it out because
average.
You see the paranoia, the fear in her, and she does very well in that episode.
Yeah,
but those 2 are Maple Street and Long Live are just absolutely like I was just locked into those ones. Locked in. I saw like a lot, from Maple Street that was probably influenced, and obviously there's other stuff that this had to influence too.
Oh yeah, definitely the Walter Jameson story, definitely.
But it's tough, man. It's tough for me to pick mine. I know you said Maple's your favorite, but
the week monsters do a Maple Street, but this would be the Jameson one would be my second.
Yeah. Well, you have anything else you want to say about it, or you want to rate these?
Yeah, we can go ahead and rate them.
I'm sure if there's anything else you got to say about the episodes, you could say when you rate it.
Yeah.
Episode,
start off with Mirror Image, the first
episode
one.
Episode 21, Mirror Image. What do you want to rate that?
I'm going to give that a 3. As I said, I think it's an average episode that's, as you said, made notable because she's such a good actress and she really sells it. But the story is a little, once again, on the weak side. No explanation and just kind of strange to be strange. So a 3 for me.
You said 3?
Actually, I went back down. I'm going to say 2.75. 2.75. Right in the middle. It's average for me.
2.75 for Mirror Image. Yeah, honestly, I would probably agree, and I would go 2.75. It's a very subpar story, I feel like they could have done a little better, like kind of with the ending, at least, stuff like that. It's almost like it's like maybe they just couldn't figure out like a good reasoning to give it. So they're like,
yeah, we'll have the guy run out and he's chasing himself now.
Yeah. So I think I go 2.75 as well.
All right, so Monsters do on Maple Street, no surprise. So I'm going to give this a 5. Monsters do on Maple Street gets a 5 for me, straight across the board.
5.
Shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd give it a 5 as well, man. It's a fantastic episode, and it stands the test of time, and I believe it always will. I feel like that episode is just eternal. Like, it's just saying so much, and it just, it hits back then and it hits today in a real world type of way where, they just don't make shit like that always, and it's a one of a kind, and it was just nothing like I thought it was going to be. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, definitely on the top 10 for me, but yeah. All right, so next would be the World of Difference, the third one with Howard Duff, the actor, waking up in its own movie. For me, I would say it's even a little bit below Mirror Image. I'm going to give this one a 2.5. It's a little sub for me. It's okay, but I think it was tough to get through. The stuff once
Yeah.
I mean, the initial scene where he wakes up in the movie is interesting, but after that, it just gets kind of boring with his wife yelling at him, and then him going back, and then winding up back in his own life of fantasy. So a 2.5 for me. An interesting story, but not one of my favorites.
I think I'd give this one a 2, man. It was just very dull. I was just not in it. I just think the actors were good. I think they did great with what they were given, but I just think it was a very dull episode and just didn't really care for it at all. And it just gave no reasoning either, you know? And that
Yeah,
was the other one. I feel like they should have given something. So it's
yeah.
not like,
If you're not gonna give a reason, at least have a twist ending. You know?
yeah, yeah. You know, I just didn't, it just kind of wasn't a fan of it at all. Honestly, one of the weakest episodes I've seen.
All right, and
Yeah, it
finally,
could have been a lot better.
long live Walter Jameson. I love this episode too. I think it's a good episode. Although I'm reserving my fives for Twilight Zone for things like Monsters Do on Maple Street and the one we did with Burgess Meredith with the bomb shelter and stuff. Those are my fives. So I'm not gonna say this was a 5. This was a 4. It was a very good episode of the Twilight Zone. I love stuff like this with history and immortal people. It was interesting. It was never boring. The acting is great all around. It's a great story. Good, solid, above average Twilight Zone. I'm gonna give it a 4 for me.
I think just because episode 22 just stands the test of time so long, I feel like this one does in a way too, honestly, because everybody thinks about, not wanting to die and, hope maybe wishing they could live forever. So I think, man, I'll give this a 5 as well, man. I just really enjoyed this one and I thought it was great.
Yeah, definitely a great episode.
I almost thought because maybe, but I think it's perfect, man. I think it's another one that, holds true in day back then as it does now.
Yeah.
So I think that's something where they really hold up. I think that says a big thing if they're holding up, like they're just kind of still. You're like, damn, that's some real shit today as it was back then. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that story could be told today just as easy. Both of those stories
Exactly.
could be told today very easily.
Yeah.
So,
I'd give it a tie for my favorite of the week from episode 22 and episode 24. It's a tie.
Right.
And obviously your favorite was
Monsters Do Maple Street being my favorite of the week, but the other one is good and close.
Looks
so
like
I say we got three good
solid.
solid. Yeah.
5. Episode 22 he gave a 4. Episode 23 he gave 2. And he gave episode 24. So it looks like he agrees with me and he's tied on his favorite episode of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's Twilight Zone. We are dealing with a show now that is like 75 years old. So from time to time,
Right.
There's going to be episodes that, don't float our boats as much because, they kind of dated a little bit with their presentation stuff and story, possibly. I haven't really seen too many yet, but I'm sure there's a few in here we'll see.
Yeah.
But to get 3 solid, really good episodes and two bangers, probably one of the better weeks.
Definitely. I'd say one of the, if anything, it could be one of the best weeks. I mean, definitely one of the better, if anything, of what we've had so far. So.
And we're seeing that a lot of the episodes that we really, really like are either written by Rod Serling or Charles Beaumont, who's the producer, but he also wrote for the show.
Yeah.
These guys, all their stuff is usually pretty fire.
Yeah.
Richard Matheson, the guy who does mostly space stuff, he did the movie episode this week. Can be hit and miss. He's a great author. He really is. He's a great writer. But his stuff can be a little hit and miss, I think.
Yeah.
But they're usually okay. So, I mean, solid stuff this week. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course, I pulled a Dylan this week, and I watched the last one like a half an hour before we started. Maybe when they're fresher on your mind, it helps out a little bit. But
yeah.
so,
But
what do we got next week?
that'll wrap up this week's
Oh,
review.
we got
So next week,
next week we
we
won't
got
be here.
episode 25. Oh yeah, next week I won't be here. So the week after,
Week
I'm
after.
going to see Scream 6. So episode 25 will be People Are Alike All Over. Episode 26, Execution. Episode 27, The Big Tall Wish. And episode 28, A Nice Place to Visit. That'll be not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, not to me ones that I'm kind of familiar with, but yeah, so it should be interesting. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing Scream next week too.
Yeah.
Even though the movie is basically just a black guy running around killing people, black guy in a cape, a guy in a cape, a guy in a black cape running around killing people, not a black guy in a cape.
Yeah. But
yeah, and we all know this movie's gonna be it's gonna be Dewey. So
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
I predict Dewey.
Tomorrow night, Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Come join us to kick off March Madness, where we review John Watts' Clown, produced by Eli Roth. Yeah, I believe it's on Amazon Freebie right now, or Tubi, one of the two. So
it's around. You can
check it out. It's on for free, I believe. So go check it out. It's John Watts' directorial debut. So
what else has he done?
The Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man, the Marvel MCU ones with Tom Holland.
Oh, okay. Has he? Oh, okay.
He did all three. He was gonna do the Fantastic Four movie, but he dropped out because he just said he's kind of burned out. But yep, March Madness kicks off tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And Scarpal, what you got coming this Monday? You got Infinity Pool at 7:00.
Yeah, this Monday we kick off the vacation sci-fi vacations go bad with Infinity Pool, followed by Westworld, and then followed by Total Recall, the original, and then winding up the month with Jurassic Park.
Hell yeah!
So, sci-fi vacations gone wrong.
What up, Evan? And yeah, everyone slash that.
And I'm looking forward to watching Infinity Pool because I haven't seen it yet.
Nice. Yeah. Well, directed by Brandon Cronenberg, David Cronenberg's son, so should be interesting at the very least, or weird as fuck. Yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to hear what everyone thinks of Clown, and excited to check out Monday, and I'm excited for some Scream 6 and some freaking Fortnite, man. New chapters coming next week, bro.
Oh, God.
I'm excited.
I still try to figure out how to do the other ones, man. I run around, people kill me a lot.
No, it's just a new chapter. Like, they're going to change the map up and add, like, new characters and shit. It's like a new battle pass. But, yeah, come check us out tomorrow. Hope all of y'all have a great rest of your night, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, y'all.
Zone out.